Čau lidi, zdraví vás Chce a tady pokračování F25. Tak jdeme na to, let's go!
Hello and welcome to Free Practice 1 from Shanghai International Circuit here in China. It's an imposing grandstand structure, tarmac that presents all sorts of challenges in these cooler temperatures. Crucial data needs to be gathered and unique challenges will be presented throughout the session.
What an incredible practice session that was. But the fun doesn't stop here though. Join us again as the rest of the weekend unfolds. Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. Shanghai International Circuit, then, is a 16-corner high-speed thrill ride. The long and ever-tightening right-hander at turns 1 and 2 tests the driver's patience. And the flats, open to the elements location, test their skill in a crosswind. 2 DRS zones will assist passing, and they're available into turn 1 and down the kilometre-long back straight into turn 14. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Piastri, Leclerc, Yuki Tsunoda and Norris, Albon, Gasly, Sainz and Esteban Ocon, Stroll, Hamilton, Liam Lawson and Hülkenberg, Doohan, Bortoletto, Ollie Behrman and Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Hadjar and Fernando Alonso rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. And alongside me in the commentary box, my old friend, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you know, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, you know, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, you know, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Okay, radio check, radio check.
Radio check, I can hear you well.
Now, I know this isn't where we wanted to start this race, but given we're back here at the back of the grid, it means there's an opportunity to move forward. I've seen you karting back in the day. Let's go and do it again. Front wing damage, but only have a few laps left. If you can live with it, stay out. DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Experience some understeer now that you're in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as soon as possible. Nice work, mate. That brings you up a place. Okay, final lap. Let's go. Final lap. Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Well done. Nice lap, nice qualifying.
So that wraps up the sprint race, but there's still more action yet to come this weekend. We've got qualifying and, of course, the Grand Prix. Welcome.
Excellent lap. We're all very, very pleased with that one. Nice work. Come on, I'll see you back in the pits.
It's time again then for Formula One in Shanghai. Northwest of the thriving city of over 24 million people is a circuit that first featured in the championship calendar back in 2004. It played host to Formula One's 1000th Grand Prix back in 2019. The ever-tightening turns of 1 and 2 will prove tricky in the slippery conditions here in Shanghai, and anyone that slides wide will lose a lot of time getting back on track. Turn 14 should still be the best place for overtaking, but we'll have to see some improvement in the weather before the drivers can take advantage of that DRS assistance. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Fernando Alonso yesterday puts him on pole position. And starting next to them is George Russell. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Norris, Verstappen, Carlos Sainz and Leclerc, Piastri, Albon, Hamilton and Esteban Ocon, Tsunoda, Hülkenberg, Pierre Gasly and Antonelli, Bortoleto, Behrman, Liam Lawson and Lance Stroll. Doohan and Isaac Hadjar rounds off the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. Well, it's been a long time since I last worked with you. Good to see you again today. Anthony Davidson. As we all know, every single driver wants to know what's required of them. And in the case of this driver, I think things are pretty stable at the moment. They're doing what the team require.
Well, that's the thing, you know, as a driver, it's easy to feel like you're the individual. It's all about you. And, you know, you want to further your career the best you can, but you have to have the team hat on as well and play the team game, work with your teammate as best you can. It's not an easy balance to figure out.
Okay, give me a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
No a pěkně obrčí, tak by to půjde do boku. Jdeme na to.
Červené svetla zhasli a v tejto chvíli máme odštartované.
Tlačí se na mě Russell a Norris. A sakra, dostali mě, jsou přede mnou.
out for understeer in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as quickly as you can. Push, push. That's a new fastest lap of the race. Okay, Fernando, Norris just ahead. Push for the position. They're holding us up now, so let's please try and get past as soon as possible and get on with our race. Push, push. No need to worry about the tyre condition for now, everything's looking good. mate. We didn't get what we needed there, I'm afraid. But head down, chin up, and let's focus on the rest of the race. Okay, this is your final lap of the race.
A Fernando Alonso získává další body, ale pěkně druhé místo, to ano. Chce se pokusit dát skoro první.
And the best of British and the best on the track. It's George Russell who wins.
Well, it all came good in the end for them, but it wasn't an easy start. Not the most straightforward of days, but I think it shows great strength in an athlete as a driver when you can overcome a day like this and walk away still with a victory.
From lights out to the checkered flag, each and every driver has this moment in the back of their mind. Now it's time for their celebrations. Our podium, it awaits. And taking his place on the top step of the podium, he gave it some hustle. Well done to George Russell. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
Tak a ty všechno pro tohle video. Pokud se líbilo, dejte like, napište komentář, odběr a věc se příště. Zatím čus!